Do you need pockets? The obvious answer is yes, right? Everybody needs pockets. And if we're sewing our own clothes, why don't we put pockets into everything? Hi friends, welcome back to Independent Clothing Initiative with Jill Haggerty. Today we sew pockets. Anything with a side seam can have a pocket inserted, and I'm going to show you just how easy it is. I will be sewing this same dress, the Vali dress. I will put the link to the dress in the description below, in this beautiful blue linen. Let's get sewing those pockets. For the pattern of your side seam pocket, you can use a pattern that you already have that belongs to a different pattern. Just take out the pocket piece and use it as is. If you don't have one of these, or perhaps you don't like the one that you have, that's easily fixable. You can make it bigger, go around it making it bigger, or you can simply make one of your own. In order to do that, I look at the size of my hand, the width of the widest part of my hand. In my case, it is 4 inches. On either side, I will add 1.5 inches, making it 7 inches total. Using my ruler, I draw 7 inches. That is the opening of my pocket that will go into the side seam of your garment. Then I will go out about 1 inch before I start to curve down my pocket. My French curved ruler was broken, and a new one is currently in the mail. Even though having a curved ruler would be great to use for this side seam pocket, it's okay if you don't have one. I measure my hand from here to here. This is about how far out I want to go, and I make a mark. Then I measure the depth of my hand. I want to leave a little extra room, using my left hand, in my pocket to make sure that it's a little deep. You, of course, can make this as deep as you like. I will then curve my pocket in accordance with my measurements. And there I have my pocket pattern piece. Let's see how much it differed from the one from the pattern that I bought. Not too different. With this pattern piece, I will now cut out my fabric for my pockets. All of my pocket pieces have now been serged, as has the side seams of my skirt. So, after marking, as I did, the top of where I want the pocket to be, according to the original pattern piece, I will take my skirt, lay it right side up. I will then put my pocket down, right side to right side, on my skirt at the marking. Now I can pin across my skirt. I will now do the same thing, pinning and placing where the pocket is to be inserted with all the rest of my pocket pieces. I like to take my skirt pattern piece and fold it in half, just to be sure and double check that my pockets are in the same place on either side of my skirt. And they are. Now I will lay out my pattern piece and take the front of the skirt, lay it down, and just double check to see that the pocket pieces are even with each other. And they are. Now I can sew my pocket piece to my skirt. When inserting the side pocket, you want to sew the pocket in at the seam allowance, same depth as the seam allowance, and then on either end of the pocket, mark 3/4 inch down on either side. This will be where you start and stop your line that connects your pocket to your skirt. In doing this, you're able to leave a little bit unattached, and when you sew the two side pockets together, then you can lift this and finish the outer seam. Now lay your garment on your ironing board, flip the pocket open, and iron the seam allowance in the direction of the pocket. Do this for all 4 pockets. With the pocket seam allowances all ironed towards the pocket, we can now sew one more time. This is called edge stitching across the opening of the pocket into the seam allowance. So now we'll be sewing across that same exact line we just stitched, of course a little further in. So here we want to sew as close as possible, 1/16 to 1/8 inch toward the edge that we just sewed and flipped over. We'll be doing the same thing, which is leaving the tail ends of the pocket unattached. If you need, again, use your ruler, measure out 3/4 inch, mark it. That is where you will start. 3/4 inch. You can also fold it like this to see where you previously stopped and mark it at that same point so you know where to stop in your edge stitching. Continue for all 4 pockets. We're working on the right side of the pocket. The reason we do this is that it helps when you're putting your hand in and out of your pocket not to turn your pocket inside out. It also helps the pocket to lay flatter on your garment. Now, all that is left to do is sewing up the side seams and finishing the edges of the pocket. To finish, I will first attach the top of my dress on either of these pattern pieces off camera. I've now attached the top of my dress to the skirt portion where we sewed in the pockets. We have sewn up one side seam from the arm all the way down, leaving the space for the pocket open. It's an excellent pocket. And we have one more to go. So we'll pin and sew this side seam, leaving the pocket open, sewing to the top of the pocket, stopping, restarting at the bottom of the pocket and all the way down to the hem. Then we will serge the outside of the pocket together and we'll hem the bottom, and then we're done. She's coming along so nicely. So exciting. Now, we will take the dress, starting at the sleeve, right sides together, pin it down to the top of the pocket, making sure that the underarm seam matches and any other seams that we might have match up with each other. Now the dress is pinned all the way from the sleeve down around the pocket, all the way down to the hemline. We will sew starting from where we stopped here, attaching the pocket to the skirt down. We'll leave this whole area open where the pocket is, and sew here up. Then we will come finish the pocket and our dress will be sewn together. Now the side seams are sewn, excluding the pocket. And we're ready to finish the edges of the pocket. The final step is to iron the seams open and the pocket flat and into place. This will give it a really nice, clean finish. We're ironing the pocket toward the front. Okay, that's it. We're done. I hope you enjoyed Sewing with Jill Haggerty at Independent Clothing Initiative. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comment section below. And of course, like and subscribe. In doing so, I know that I'm making the kind of content that you like and enjoy, and that's helpful for you. Bye. Bye.